Welcome back. Let's continue with our lesson. We are going to now look at the third concept of our our concept map, which is to investigate triangles. The first one is triangle PQR. Let's grab our ruler and measure the triangle and see the outcomes thereof. Okay, we are measuring the first angle, which is angle R, and as I said, because I'm measuring on the left, I'll use the black markings, and as I take it from start to finish at the top of the triangle, it gives me 54 degrees. There is a margin of error that we would find ourselves working with. It doesn't mean that if you are out by 1 degree, you are wrong. Maybe I measure 54, you come and you measure probably 55 in terms of your own ruler, and you think that you are wrong. You may not be. It could give you 54, it could give you 55, but that margin of error needs to be eliminated. The more you practice, the more you are able to find your degrees. Here it is 55 degrees. Let's move it to the right and see if you can get the same or a different number. There it is, our start and finish, and it gives us again 55 degrees. So we've got 55 degrees on the left, 55 on the right, which then says this is an isosceles triangle. Let's check the top and see what it means, what it gives us. Move the triangle to the top edge, and we get the starting part. We pin the end part, and it gives us 70 degrees. So we've got a triangle that has 55 degrees, and 70 degrees. And therefore, now we are saying we've got the three angles and the sizes of those three angles. Now let's mark the sizes that we got. Angle P gave us 70 degrees. Angle Q gave us 55 degrees. And angle R gave us 55 degrees. Let's add the angles together. 55 degrees plus 55 degrees plus 70 degrees. Let's add them together. 55 plus 55 is 110. 110 plus 70 equals to 180 degrees. And therefore we conclude that the angles of a triangle, when added together, they would give us 180 degrees. Now we know for ourselves, you can use any triangle. You don't have to draw one that is exactly like the same that you see on the screen. You can actually draw your own triangle. As long as you can measure all three angles, they should always give you 180 degrees. Let's move on. Let's measure that one together. Let's calculate our protractor again. We've grabbed our protractor. We can measure the triangle starting with any angle. However, each angle that you've measured, you should be able to then mark it so that you know that this one I'm done with. And in this case, here are the markings. There it is. So I've got 48 degrees for angle D. Let's move the protractor around and move it over to the bottom. Pin it down. there it gives us 66 degrees, and that we are using again the blue markings starting from 0 to 66 degrees. And let's move it to the other side and see. On the right, now we've measured the angle on the right as well, and it gives us 66 degrees. So we've got 66, 66, and 48. Now let's then go add them up. These are easy numbers we can add even in our head. 66 plus 66 plus 48 gives us 180 degrees. And so we know that this is an isosceles triangle because the two angles at the bottom are equal to one another, and the sides, the opposite sides to those angles, are also equal to one another. Let's go back to our full structure. Let's write in the angles. We have 48 degrees, we have 66 degrees, and we have 66 degrees. And we've realized that this, therefore, is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. And we've measured the angles like that. What do we mean when we say an angle has an opposite side? When we draw up an angle, we use a line like that. And when we look at that line, if the line was to progress, it would progress towards that side. Therefore, that side, DF, is opposite angle E. That's when we say an opposite side. So when we say angles that have opposite sides are equal, we are saying this one is opposite to DF, and angle F on this side is opposite to side DE. So one is opposite to the other, and the one is opposite to the other side. That's when we speak of opposite sides. Now you know how we are measuring these. It doesn't mean that all the time you are going to find an isosceles or an equilateral triangle. Sometimes you might find a triangle that has different angles altogether. As long as you measure them and they give you 180, then you know that anytime I measure a triangle, the outcome is going to give me 180 degrees. Let's continue and measure triangle JKL, which is an obtuse angled triangle. Let's see if it is so. We are now measuring angle J, and as you can see, I've pinned it down already, and it gives us 58 degrees. And let's move to the next side, and that would be angle L, and angle L gives us, let's pin it down and see, angle L gives us, let's print that properly so that the whole angle is in there. Angle L gives us 84 degrees. All right, now we've already proven that when you've added all three of them, they should give you 180 degrees. So let's go back to our diagram so that we can continue with our lesson. All right, angle L gave us 84 degrees. Angle J then gave us 58 degrees. And therefore, angle K obviously would then give us 38 degrees. Let's add up the angles. It's 58 degrees plus 38 degrees plus 84 degrees. And let's add them up. 50 plus 30 is 80, plus 80 is 160, and then 8 plus 8 plus 4 is 20, so that makes it 180 degrees. Now, we've concluded that every time when you add the angles of a triangle, they will always give you 180 degrees. Practice as much as you can so that when it comes to exams, you are familiar with this. Thank you. Goodbye.